Okay. So we have a look at play. We now have new options over here on the side. Endless Misery. Oh, it doesn't immediately show us what it is there? Okay. So Endless Misery is the enemies scaling consistently higher. Live as long as you possibly can. It is otherwise endless. Just combat. Is it DLC? No, this is a free patch to the game. And Endless Power is you scaling endlessly. Go as long as you'd like. Is at least my understanding of those two at the moment. We are going to be diving into each. And weekly event as well. We have 4 days, 2 hours, 37 minutes and 18 seconds left on the weekly event. This weekly event is the tainted version of the standard Conquest. Adapt to the modifiers and beat the game. Afterwards, compare your time to the others. Only Blood Mage is available. It's difficulty 5. Playing a card costs you 1 HP. You start with 50% base HP. You can't be healed. At the end of each combat, restore full HP. I'm assuming that at the end of each combat, restore full HP is not affected by you can't be healed, which would be a hilarious, hilarious combination if not. But that is a Blood Mage that we will have the opportunity here to play. Which should we go into first? I think it's probably a good idea to just jump into the weekly event here. Good way to be welcomed back. Let me also say very, very clearly here at the top that this is a sponsored series and stream on Tainted Grail Conquest. Thank you very much to the developers for sponsoring this series and stream. Much appreciated. Deeply, deeply glad to be jumping back into something that I had played outside of it with my own time for a sponsored segment. Ooh, baby. Weave the Blood Mage from faction Moonring. Ultimate ability. Blood Mages charge their ultimate ability whenever they offer their blood. They can immediately overcharge a minion. The unique effect's strength is multiplied by the number of charges they spend. We also have the passive skill, or choice of different passive skills here. We can start every combat with a summoned golem. The golem protects its allies by redirecting hits towards itself. There's also the start each combat with the summoned abomination. The abomination attacks all enemies on the battlefield. And then finally is a summoned worm, which attacks random enemies and reduces their armor. So we charge our ultimate ability whenever we offer our blood, not when we lose HP, but when we offer our blood. We absolutely can't really afford to take damage to enemies because we need to be able to build, or we need to be able to take damage to our own casts. Let's go back to the limitations here just for a second. Only Blood Mage is available. Playing a card costs you 1 HP. You start with 50% of your base HP. You can't be healed. At the end of combat, restore full HP. It feels like I should go very aggressive, which is making me think it might be Abomination or Worm here. Even over the summoned golem, who would have the ability to redirect enemy hits towards themselves. Can I see, is that modifiers that it's showing me there? No, it's unlocks and stuff. Okay. Well, let's check one more time. Playing a card costs you an HP, can't be healed, heal up at the end of each combat. So we're not even capable of, like, milling out a bunch of cards for any value. Maybe it does have to be Golem. I really don't want it to be Golem, but maybe it does. Because it doesn't matter how much damage we do if we're dead. And we don't really have any, like, hastening mechanics otherwise. We're also on difficulty 5. We've got cruel enemies, deadly bosses, hard fights, 140% currency gain. Always remember that any choices you make, big or small, might impact the world around you. Starting with half health seems really painful for anything other than Golem. Yeah, it's just whether or not I would have the ability to get crazy, effectively, like, like ridiculously powerful before I would die. And I don't think that would be the case. So I agree. I think I need to take the Golem here. Also, on this game, I think I sit... Oop, that's the game moving. Hang on. I think for this game, I sit here, right? If I recall correctly. Blood Mage relies on mid-combat healing, though. This seems harsh. Yeah, this could be rough. There aren't that many benefits. There is the full heal at the end of each fight, which is nice. If I can make it so that I take everything except for one hit point, everything except for my final hit point in every single fight, I'm gonna get a lot of value out of that, sure. Okay. Interesting. So the town is razed to the ground for these challenges. You don't get any of their supports. Oh boy, that's gonna make this a lot harder. Alright, let's go. Let's actually have a look at our base deck as well. I'm not as familiar with it. So we are playing Regina, because that is the character we are. Blood Mage. Blood Mages can offer their own blood in order to summon minions on their own side. We also have 40 max HP, as you can see. Their minions are automatically activated and promoted at the start of each turn. However, minions overcharge upon reaching level 4. This means they trigger a special effect and disappear from combat. Each minion has a different overcharge effect. We started out with 5 weird candles, 2 healing mixtures. Obviously locked on runestones. Main quest has nothing in the completion for it. Let's have a look at our deck. So we've got 9 spells, 1 sigil, 4 summons. Our spells are Blood Preparation, offer 5 HP. That'll be 6. It'll be offer 5 HP and also lose 1 more. Draw a random summon card from your deck. This is an ability, so we'll have it in hand at all times. Ritual, activate a minion. Natural, makes sense. Barrier, create 10 barrier. A pool of additional HP in barrier as well, so we are quite likely to want to get a lot of barrier in this. That is to say, if that will manage to prevent the HP loss from our other casts. Promotion, offer 2% of your max HP. That's going to be a very low cost for us to pay. Promote a minion. We can also see over here in Sigil, a single Sigil for protection increases the minion's armor by 25. Makes a lot of sense when we have the Golem already. And then our summons, the ability to summon all of the minions, including the Blood Fae. The only one that we didn't have the ability to begin with. The Blood Fae has... Blood Fae grants ultimate charges to its master and changes everyone's damage on overcharge. Changes everyone's damage on overcharge. Interesting. Okay. So I haven't got the lights turned on. Oh, right, and I'm not really going to be able to... I'm not going to be able to get any extra information from the map as well. I was so used to having the town upgrades. Okay, so that's the ability to remove 2 cards from my deck at the very least in the distance there. Quite a good pickup. I'm gonna go to a very simple fight first over here. And yeah, I'm gonna be taking it in dark as well. Because this should be very simple. It should just be this enemy by themselves. Ew. Okay, so they're gonna be dealing 8 to 10. The Blood Golem redirects enemy hits towards itself passively. On activation, it heals itself. At level 4, it deals a hit with a chance to stun instead. Got it. And on promotion, it changes its armor. Change armor by 50% of the Blood Mage's armor. Change. Is this word change being used as increase in this circumstance? Or is it just get 50% of the Blood Mage's armor set? Is it a set or is it an addition? Certain yet. Let's start out by playing Barrier to see if that has the ability to actually protect us from the damage. It doesn't. We gained the Barrier and then we lost 1 HP after the fact. Let's play out a Blood Mage. Blood Fade, that is. So we can also see here for our ultimate ability. Ultimate ability is Overcharge a minion. Charging is Make an Offering. So did they consider each of the plays? Yeah, exactly. Each of the HP losses was considered a charge of offering, rather than what I thought, which was going to be lose HP, but it wasn't going to consider it offering, which is also a losing HP mechanic. The fact that it does means we are really good at activating that ability. So we need to start pivoting ourselves around, okay, how do we benefit from offering a bunch of things? Anything that says offer matters is really deeply important to us at this point. Okay. Got one more energy for this turn. So on Overcharge, it increases the Blood Mage's damage by 100% and decreases damage of all enemies by 30% this turn. By 30% this turn. See. I see. And the Blood Golem heals itself, not us. If I can get it to heal us, that will also be particularly useful. Okay, let's promote you. Interesting. Oh, there we go. Cool. Overcharge made through the ultimate ability is scaled depending on the amount of charges. You get 100% of the effect's magnitude at 4 charges, 200 at 8, and then 400% at 12 charges. Oh. Oh, you're right. We can't heal in mid-combat anyway, so it doesn't matter. Cheers. Forgot about that. Tainted Force. I don't think I'm needing to care about that at all. Call it a hunch. So the Blood Abomination. Don't know about you yet. So you're on 3. You're going to get 1 more ultimate charge for the next turn. When do you do that? Minions are activated at the end of each turn and promoted at the start of each turn. So it'll be promoted at the start of the next turn. With this challenge, you won't have to be afraid to use HP long term since you get full HP for each fight. Yeah, that's a deeply encouraging part of it. Okay. Let's promote. And then I'll put out a Blood Abomination. And then I'm going to use the Offering on the Fae for 400% extra damage. That gave 200%? Overcharge a minion. So 400% of its effect's magnitude. I could have sworn that was going to increase the damage of the Blood Abomination ridiculously there. Oh, Tainted Force has an animation that plays itself now. Nice. What did I miss? I clearly did it incorrectly, but how? Let's give you some sick promo. So Overcharge. Minion performs a specified action. This action is as powerful as the overcharge effect's magnitude. After that, the minion dies. Rudia says it was plus 100% damage for 4 turns. I was confused by that as well. Is it though? Oh, yeah. Oh, right. Yeah, because it's right. Okay, so yeah, increasing it by 400% was propagating it over other turns. No, thank you, Rudias. Much appreciated. And it doesn't look like it's represented here just because of the tainted, the weird card having gone off and reduced our damage on this turn. That makes a lot of sense. Okay, the attack left right there. I mean, look, if I just activate you twice, you'll kill him for us. Thank you for the level. Catch around, Senrath. Thank you for tuning in. Grim Golem. Oh boy, 2 pillars. Grim Golem and 2 pillars offer 5% of your max HP. 2 on summon. Oh, summon a blood golem, obviously. So it's a 1-cost summon for a golem. There's also 2 pillars. It offer 10% of your max HP to invoke 2 blood golems. That's a lot of defense. That might be a good idea. So how? I can only have 4 minions on board at any one time, right? Because if I can only have 4 minions on board at any one time, then playing 2 pillars puts, 4 Grim Golems out on the board. I guess if I put 4 Grim Golems out on the board, or 3 full Grim Golems out on the board, and then just play a worm, and then just keep activating the worm, I can probably actually do this. Let's do it. Ooh, all Blood Fae are promoted after being summoned. Every overcharge heals all minions to their max HP. I don't actually think that matters. Mercy, after every overcharge, gain +1 energy for your next turn. We overcharge minions consistently. That is kind of an idea of this deck. Let's do it. This is sick. Do I want to fight you alone? I can see the more dangerous things in the distance. Ooh, that's the Enchantress, I think. I think I'm gonna fight you without light as well. You and I, let's go. Toe to toe. I should not have done this. Oh boy. It intends to attack everyone on the battlefield and buff. That is, so playing 2 pillars would actually be really rough here? Because then there would be so many targets on the field that the Abomination would get a huge amount of damage. Right? Because there'd be 3 targets on board that all say redirect the damage to me. So if I had 4 minions out on board and myself, that's 50 damage to the entire party, and it gets redirected to each of the blood golems, I think. I think I just need to get the bloodworm out. Maybe immediately promote it. Turn, I'm losing 2 energy, unfortunately, here. There's that redirected damage going off on the golem. Oh boy, the Abomination. Wow, we're all on negative armor as well. The first golem, it redirects to 1 at a time in summoned order. Okay, I should have played it then. Oops. I think I have to use a blood preparation. Lay the Blood Fae out on board. will offer you. A lot of that damage went against the right target. God. Okay, you're on 4. We can 2 pillars now, actually, and I think we need to. So protect one of your armor. And my own armor being decreased so severely is really harsh. I can't promote you again, otherwise you'll die. Overcharge, minion supports. Minions promoted above level 4 are overcharged. Okay, so I can overcharge you after that. Let's go ritual. Ritual again. And then when you get overcharged, you deal 1 hit or 200% damage and reduce the target of an enemy by 10. I think I need you to just do a multiple hit here at the end instead. Thank you for taking one of them off the board. And then you were overcharged as well at the very end of that. Blood Abomination now goes out on board. What's your overcharge effect? Deal 1 hit for 200% damage to all enemies. Okay, so multiplying that effect by the Blood Mage's abilities, that's where we want to be. I'm gonna cast the Offering for the draw here. Then I will promote you. And then I will have you attack them in an AoE for 200% extra damage. Baby! So I found my tools now. I found my defensive tools, obviously Golem. I found my scaling tools, Worm. I found my instantaneous damage in AoE tool, Abomination. We found the way that the overcharges and things like that are starting to work. I didn't actually play this class beforehand, so I'm very glad to be in this position now. Sacrifice a minion, deal 1 hit for 250% damage to all enemies. At the end of each turn, this minion gains 10 barrier. At the start of each turn, this minion increases its damage by 10%. Neither of those, I think, are going to be particularly good here because they get a lot better as the game goes longer, and it's just not going to go that long as the fights go longer. It can't go that long. I can't let it go that long or I will die. Sacrifice, though. Deal 1 hit for 250% damage to all enemies. I feel like I need to skip. No, I can flood the board with minions with the 2 pillars. This enables me to get AoE out immediately, as well as have delayed AoE going out later. Okay, Wisps are actually really annoying. I probably shouldn't go for that just yet. I should wait for my damage to scale a little bit higher. You're probably not that bad. Let's go back to you, I think. Up those dukes, bud. Tainted Force, losing 2 energy next turn. Not thrilled about it, but okay with it. 50-50, this doesn't get us the Bay. Nice, it got us the Worm. That's what I wanted. So I've only got 1 energy this turn, but it should be more than enough. Do I activate you or promote you? I think I promote you right now. Continue lowering the enemy's armor while I can. Welcome to maximum level. It is time to be activated. Excuse me. Get that bloodworm. Remove a bunch of damage from the enemy and then sacrifice the golem to kill myself. Beautiful. I think we'll also do the next minion further up. This is a summoner as well. Thankfully, I know my AoE now. But I just want to interact with the NPC directly behind them. Egad's watching that health bar tick down and is making you tense up. Yeah. Oh, it's gonna be like that this whole time, baby. Infected Human is also going to do an AoE, and it turns Time Shaman and an Abomination here as well. We got a Blood Golem and there's 2 Pillars in hand. I'll use the Tainted Grail for the draw. Finding a Blood Abomination, exactly what we want. We get you out on board. And hell, I'm just going to promote you immediately. Get your damage. $23 damage AoE for a sacrifice is decent. Yeah, it feels like a really good way for us to close out fights here. Okay. Blood preparation for Fae. I did not get the Fae. I'll summon the worm though. I'm probably going to sacrifice it as well. Yep. And then I'm going to use Blood Mage on the Abomination for the AoE. You are kidding me. Yes. Come on! I didn't calculate it because I didn't think it needed to. Just. Oh, well. The new intent icons look so much better than the early versions. Agreed. Oh, so agreed. I'm constantly just starting to interact with things and I'm like, man, there was a little tightening done on that, a little polish done there. I got a blood pep. I gotta get something out on board. That's not what I want. We're running out of health, something fierce. Do I have to wait until next turn before I start casting again? I think I do. There we go. So we need to promote you and then kill you. I was starting to tense up a little near the end there, certainly. Okay. It's very kind of you, Caveman Media. Caveman Mafia, sorry.
There are old customs that protect the traveling priests of the All-Mother. The one you see before you, walking through the weirdness at a brisk, confident pace, doesn't seem to realize or care that this protection is unlikely to extend here.
Ask to be healed. I want the combat encounter because I want the experience from it.
Before you have a chance to ask her for anything, something leaps out of the weirdness.
I'm also pretty sure I wouldn't be able to leave and then just come back and ask later, unfortunately. Okay. I mean, Blood A-Bomb do want to get out though. Let's go Blood Fae and then Blood A-Bomb. End the turn. Everyone gets larger. Enlarging. Overcharge increases Blood Mage's damage by 100% and decreases damage of all enemies by 30% each turn. Let's drop the Pommel. Actually, you know what? I think that needs to go on the Abomination instead. And then, honestly, I kind of want to summon the Bloodworm and then instantly sack it. But I don't have enough money. Sorry, I don't have enough energy to do that. Let's use Blood Prep. I cast... No, I can't cast enough cards to be able to get the triple effect on the Blood Fae, but I also don't want that. Eh, screw it. Get a Bloodworm out there. What's the worst it could do? Decrease their armor? Like I mind. Okay, it's time to kill him. And how do we want to do it? You grant activation charges for your level. Once per turn is this ability, unfortunately. If I could do it multiple times per turn, I think I would actually go off right now, but once per turn, sadly. Okay. So the Blood A-Bomb at the moment is doing a 2-hit to all enemies. 145% on your base. No, I think if I just activate you, it does it. Oh, I can overcharge you by promoting you as well. Okay, so we're gonna Blood Mage you to get your overcharge, giving us extra damage. And then I promote you to activate you. What did I do wrong? It hits 2 times while it's still on the field there. It doesn't hit 2 times. No, I needed to activate it. I see. I see. I'm starting to brain about it. Okay. Got the experience I wanted from that. Synergy. Invoke. Ooh. Invoke Bloodworm and Fae. Oh, baby, there's Grim Fae as well. You kidding me? Summon a Blood Fae for 0? Giving me the ability to cast a bunch of other stuff? Giving me all these promotions? I don't even know if I need the Grim Fae in this deck is the thing. Right? Both of these fail because the Blood Fae is a way of granting yourself ultimate charges and of propagating damage across the rest of the group. However, I don't need any help getting my ultimate charges, and the damage it propagates to the rest of the group requires that I overcharge the Grim Fae. So that's a lot of investment in a Grim Fae just to get an extra 100% damage on another target for 4 turns. If it was 400% that the Grim Fae had the ability to give us, like it did the 4 times in the individual turn, gave it 400% damage rather than giving it 100% damage for 4 turns, I'd be way more on board. But it isn't, so I think I'm going to skip here as well. The other option is Holy Promotion, promote all minions. This is going to push my own golems closer to their deaths. I just need them to be on the board rather than I need them to be promoted, so we skip. Vanity, whenever 3 or more minions are alive, increase your damage by 25%. Relatively low. Whenever your HP is below 25%, all offerings restore HP instead of hurting you. Oh boy, okay, this is going to be difficult because our ultimate says gain a charge when you offer. However, does that mean all... That one doesn't work, says Missing Gen. So low resolves, I won't be able to heal, but would it prevent me damaging myself? I know I can't heal, but it says instead of. So is there a world where low resolves, for me, says if you have 10 or less health, don't take damage to your own cards? Because playing my own cards is considered an offer for the sake of my ultimate charge. Is it considered an offer generally? I could, like, Vanity is good, to be clear. Vanity is just a straight 25% extra damage for us a lot of the time. This seems like it could let us live a lot longer in a fight. I'm going to take this because it's possible, and I want to know.
Praise the Mother. I'm glad you're here.
You see confidence shining in her eyes.
I want to settle this once and for all. If All Mother is still with us, she will protect me. If not, I'd rather die anyway. Now let me be on my way and you go on yours. With my blessing.
What are you doing out here?
Reluctantly, she reveals that she went into the weirdness of her own free will.
Ever since we landed on Avalon, I've seen so much evil. Men killing each other for a slice of bread. Parents drowning their children so that their cries don't draw a weird spawn.
I like his voice.
It's so hard to believe the Mother still watches over us.
She sighs and shakes her head.
I'm on a pilgrimage, trying to visit all of the shrines raised throughout these lands in the name of the All-Mother.
You realize that with the world being in constant flux, stuck between various times and realities, her pilgrimage will probably never end.
Take pity on her or be on your way. Take pity.
You tell her that since your journey will take you to various places anyway, you might as well help out. You can see that she's exhausted but grateful.
Here, it's an incense blessed by the High Priestess. Use it to perform a ritual at all of the All-Mother's altars you can find, and hope that, in time, we'll be able to purify and shield them from corruption.
You get a blessed incense and a new quest with
I'm too far away from
Madman's
the
Faith.
altar to cast spells like that. I can give you some potions or teach you a certain technique, though. It's your choice.
Take the healing potions or learn the secret spell. The problem is the secret spell is almost certainly heal. I'm gonna take the healing potions because maybe I can give them away to someone. This is gonna be an extra card in my deck that I'm not gonna be able to utilize. I'm almost certain of that. We take the healing mixture and we walk. Oh no. Oh no. Yeah, okay, this is still interactable. Woo! I was worried I wasn't going to be able to.
Hunters call this ancient skull the Stag Father and lay charms and offerings around it. The legends say the Stag Father takes the dreamers away to join him on a great hunt.
Let's risk sleeping in this dangerous place. I gotta get my removals. Baby. Okay, for a Sentinel, this enemy redirects damage from all allies to itself. So having a Blood Abomination out on the field, doing some AoE hits seems like a good idea. Before that, I will play Prep just in case I happen to get the worm. Just because the worm in particular would have been really nice there. Tainted Force. Lose 100 armor next turn if not played. That's really bad for us. I think I actually will play that one. Alright, I decreased my own damage significantly by doing it as well. So I should have done it at the end of the turn. Oops. Oopsie. Let's give you some sick promo. Because you're about to need it. Next promotion will cause it to overcharge. Your damage is so minimal right now. It says... Oh, it's because of the armor on the Forest Sentinel that's doing that. I see. Still taking damage by card. This only activates, or rather... low reserves would only activate at 25% or less. So it'd be 10 HP or less that will start seeing science. Should just activate you while I can, I think. The armor on that Forest Sentinel is really annoying, and I don't have the ability to remove it effectively. Maybe I actually need to get a Bloodworm out. I think I do. So we play the Bloodworm. The Bloodworm has reduced... Yeah, the overcharge has reduced the enemy's armor by 10. So giving that the multiple effects from Blood Mage, 400%. It's got to remove 40 armor, right? We'll activate... I mean, I guess I can activate you. Just trying to remove more armor. And then remove even more. What? Okay, so redirect does not affect the random hit from that unit evolving. Oh no. Okay. We're good. We're good. We got enough AoE out of that. So we have access to sacrifice as well, but I don't have much damage. So let's go Bloodfey. Let's promote you. Instantly give you a ritual so we get some more blood prep. I'm gonna try something here as well. I'm gonna blood prep as well. And then I will use the... Oh, no, wait. We're screwed if that doesn't work. Well, I can get it for 2 turns here, actually. We have 200%, and this is 35 to 55 on all enemies. It's entirely possible it doesn't kill one of the flesh-eating maggots right now. Thankfully, we do have the extra 100% base damage for another turn, though. And we're getting down to the 10, where I can actually start seeing what this is doing. Finally. Maybe I needed to do a last turn. It's fine, I have golems. Okay, am I still going to be offering HP every time I play a card now? This says offer for 0, but will the card itself deal damage to us? Yes. But it's still counted as an offering. So it's an offering for both positive and not negative things. Weird. I mean, you know, promote, activate. Decent amount of AoE out on the board. At this point, probably just playing the sacrifice card wins. And then 3 hits from the Bloodworm. We completed our science, though. It's all good. That's all we needed to do. We're back on full HP as well, so it's fine. Let's... Oh, we'll have 40 health back, baby. Get rid of 2 cards. Barriers are basically doing nothing in our deck at this point, and they're not really going to do anything from this point, so... Select 2 barriers and accept. Right, I should only have 1 barrier left in the deck at this point. Yep. 1 copy of barrier. Okay. Who's that behind you? Not entirely familiar. It's wisps in front of you, though. Wisps are really rough. I might need to pop the light back on for this fight. Press 1 to burn a weird candle. There we go. A highlight weird candle fight. Okay, so this was against... okay, Warped Lightseeker actually gets stronger based on our Weird Candle level, unfortunately. And then the Perverted Life Force here is dealing good damage also. And then there's a Mindbender, which spawns illusions of random enemies. This is a... That's a lot of damage going into that Blood Golem this round. Drop out the A-bomb and then promote it, I think. Gonna need to start getting some damage if I want to take out the Mindbender, and I'm gonna need some AoE if I want to take out the illusions. They changed the look of the golem? That might just be the Blood Golem? I don't know. But it's possible they did. Maybe to make it look different to the enemy stone golems. This looks more bloody than the Abomination even previously looked as well, so maybe they just made them unique even per the different ones. That attack's going against all enemies, Warp Lights. Oh, man. I'm gonna drop 2 pillars and then a protection on the one that's lived longest and just activate our AoE. I'm just going to continue activating the AoE to just randomly punch them like that, I think. I'm also not going to promote the Blood Abomination because ideally I don't want it to... Well... Do I need to replace you with a worm at some point? And if I do, is it left in the draw pile? Maybe. I'm actually going to promote you now. Which definitely means I should have promoted it first. In retrospect. Okay. There's that AoE. Stun all enemies for 2 turns. Hey, Tainted Force, what's up? Let's use Blood Preparation to try and draw a nice summon. There we go, that'll do it. I'm gonna pop the... Tainted Force, definitely. I'm gonna pop the Sacrifice on one of my golems here. Deal 1 hit for 200% damage. Reduce the enemy's armor. No, we can just save that and use that on the worm in a later turn. Yep. Promote. Activate. And kill. Beautiful. Oh, more removals are going to make this deck a lot more slick. Things that give us the ability to double activate are going to be ridiculous. So that's a heavy premium. Anything that activates a unit twice. I will pay 3 mana for that.
Wandering around, you notice that the plants on the ground around you are more like muscle tissue than typical vegetation. Then you notice an old man smiling at you in a disturbingly friendly manner. He's sitting near an enormous pool of blood and stacks of fancy bouquets made of body parts. Hands, hearts, testicles, arms, all held together by an unknown power, form the shape of a sunflower. Your horrified eyes pass over baubles made of kidneys and macabre flowers tied neatly with intestine ribbons.
Come, don't be afraid.
Don't be afraid.
I suppose some might consider my shop rather extravagant. But trust me, you won't find anything quite like my bouquets in these woods.
I certainly believe you.
So, what do you have for me today?
He notices a
crisp
question
high five.
forming on your lips.
Oh, pity. I thought you came here with my delivery. Well, that's an inconvenience. Anyway, you can still take a look at my wares.
Buy a bouquet, effect, pick one card. What is the bouquet again? Because I think the bouquet might be barrier. And if the bouquet is barrier, then this card is useless for us. I think it is barrier. So apparently these bouquet, there are 3 of them. Only one of them is a barrier option. I'm very hesitant to add anything more to the deck is the thing, though. Let's leave. Whoa, we can just talk to you again?
Anything I
We can come back for it if we want at the point. Nice. I do like that those people are now re-interactable. It was not necessarily previously clear to me which encounters I would be able to come back to at any point. Seems like that has also been something that's been addressed a little bit here. And the game is also just looking a lot cleaner for me. That might just me. I know there have been optimizations, especially for low-end PCs, but mine is not a low-end PC. Oh, I think I know what it is, actually. I think last time I played Tainted Grail, I was on my old PC. That'd explain it. Okay. Tainted Force. Deal 1 hit for some damage. We want a better minion to put out on this board. Love Blood Abomination this position. Give it some sick promo. You can shout out your SoundCloud. And I'm going to gain the 50% damage from Tainted Force on the discard here instead. So I'm also going to want some armor reduction here, so I wouldn't be surprised to also play the Bloodworm. No one's doing an AoE attack this turn, so I think I actually go Blood Fae and then Bloodworm. Going just hard in on this. I think this is speedy enough. So I do have an activate this turn. Sacrifice. So here's what I think we do. Let's promote you, getting myself up to 12 on the Blood Mage. Then I'm going to Blood Mage ability the Blood Fae, giving us all 100% extra damage for 4 rounds here. Then I'm going to activate the double AoE hit, killing that unit. And then I'll end the turn having all of our aggressive minions activated at the end of the turn. Zdarsky says, great stream. Could you do a quick pros/cons of the game? I wonder if I should buy it. Oh, I was wondering there if I'd randomly died. I'm not entirely certain that that would be a useful thing for me to do in the specific context of currently producing sponsored content for the game.
Between clouds of weirdness with a fading weird candle in his hand. His eyes light up when he sees you. You notice that he is not actually looking at you. He's looking at your candle.
Thank gods. Mine's almost out. Do you have more? Please. If you don't help me, I'm done for.
So, sorry, to be clear about that, Zdarsky follows up by asking, fair, could you just say pros then? No, it's the pros that I don't want to, is the thing. Because the fact that I'm currently making sponsored content for the game means answering that question has, even if I think about it as deeply as I possibly can, the immediate appearance of definite bias. So to avoid that as much as possible, I think it's easier to just avoid the question, unfortunately. But yeah, it's less that I don't want to say any bads, because like obviously I've already talked about some of the logical inconsistencies that existed in the cards previous. And you know, I think a lot of my sponsored content actually includes mild critique of the game at hand. But I think that's important to maintain the authenticity with which I want to present those products. But I think that in this specific context, it would just become a little muddled, especially as an unprepared response. I hope that came across correctly. What are you looking for?
I have to find them. They're somewhere. I know it. I can feel it. And I need to be there. To be
by their side now. Sorry, just one sec. Tainted Grail. I forgot to actually add this to the title. Tainted Grail. There we go. Beauty. Give him a weird candle.
Thank you. I promise to make good use of it.
He continues with his search.
Can't wait to see you again at some point in the near future, bud. Pied Piper. Ooh, are we actually gonna get the... Are we gonna get the Pied Pipe? For realsies? It's an extremely powerful tool. So this Tainted Force is 50% damage this turn or 10 armor. I'll happily take the 10 armor instead. I think I am just gonna want scaling and damage out on board, so Blood Fae, Blood Abomination, and turn. I love this album. It's something that absolutely everyone who plays this game immediately has to mention. The music is incredible. Okay. I'm going to promote this minion, right? Then I'm going to blood prep just to get 2 triggers for the ability out of that. And then I'm going to hit the Blood Fae, giving the 100% extra damage out before I use AoE on you 2 times. And then at the end of the turn, you're going to activate your AoE again. And we also have 1 more turn with 100% extra damage on us. So I'll promote you to get your activation out and kill all the enemies. Hell yeah. Grim Worm. Ooh, a cheaper worm. Ooh, a cheaper activation though. Paralysis. Stun a chosen enemy. Reduce their armor by 25% until the end of combat. One thing that's constantly been tearing us up at this point is redirects. Because redirects, especially redirects with high armor, demand that I have the ability to deal with them before I can deal with the minions behind with the state of this deck. I think Paralysis is a great choice. I think it's expensive. To be clear, it's a little expensive, and it's up against Dark Rites and Grim Worm. All of these I would actually really enjoy putting in the deck. But I think we should just take the Paralysis in this position. The game is offering exactly armor removal and stun, the 2 things that I have desperately needed in a couple of fights so far.
As you walk carefully in the woods, a quick, lithe creature runs towards you. It takes you a moment to realize it's a human. He brandishes a short wooden stick, screaming and shouting in despair.
My children! I've seen what you've done to my children!
Children?
Barbarian! Sacrilegious scum! You shouldn't have done that. What will I do without them?
You watch him, confused. He looks malnourished, as if he's had nothing to eat since he entered the weirdness. And you're sure that was a long, long time ago.
I failed them. I couldn't protect them. I'm not worthy of it anymore.
Turns out the stick he tried to beat you with was an instrument. A flute. He sniffles. The flute is a strange one. Mysterious markings and blood cover its surface.
Take it. It's your duty now.
Why would I need a weird flute?
He plays a simple melody. Suddenly rats swarm all over you. You've seen enough of them already to know how this will end.
Ask him to stop.
Why? They were my children. My lovely children. Look.
He plays a simple melody and the rats suddenly stop. Some sway from left to right as if dancing to the rhythm.
You see? They would never hurt me.
Okay, I'll take your instrument.
Use it. Use it every time you see them. Play this every time you see my children. Promise me. Promise.
Pinky promise,
Bow
bud.
to the stranger and leave him to his madness.
Are you still going to be there? No. Okay, so we don't have the ability to try and adjust what it does. But it is already in our item slot here. Reduce the damage of everyone by 50% this turn. Can only be used once per combat. Hey, Rita. How's it going, bud? Welcome on in. Oh, that's the Treasure Guardian. I might actually... Ooh, I can actually see the fight as well. Okay, so 2 of those are weak nothings. Two of those are just nothings at all. And 2 of those only get stronger as they get hit consistently. And then there's just one Lichy boy that I gotta worry about a little. You know what? There's very little that demands that I do it right now. So let's not. Pack of enemies there. Ruined home. Let's go into the ruined home on our way to the pack of enemies.
You notice the ruins of a home that was burned down. There's no telling whether it was destroyed during the war, set alight out of spite, or simply burned down due to an unfortunate accident.
Look for valuables. Hole in the wall. 100 gold. All right. That's modified by the difficulty level as well, so we get 140 instead. The light's relatively low right now. That's an abomination, 2 abominations and a shaman. I can probably take that without pumping the light back up. Okay. So reduce the enemies or the damage of all enemies by 10% this turn. If not blade, lose energy next turn. I think I'm fine with that actually. Blood A-bomb, and I want to promote it as quickly as possible. So I think I just slap those bad boys down. Blood A-bomb, promote. I think I'm also just gonna blood prep. It cost me 6 HP, but I got 2 charges on my offering, and I think that's still important at this point. Especially with limited energy next turn. Oh boy, that was a lot of damage they managed to do to my blood golem that looks like it's coming to my face soon after this. Okay, ritual. There's to pause them. Promotion as well. So I can promote you to be able to do your multi-hit, and then I can do ritual on you 2 times. Love it. Promote you. You're now doing your multi-hit attacks. We use ritual. Oh, I'm missing an energy, so I can't use ritual 2 times. Ugh. This would be for 400% of your damage. 400% of your damage right now is is 8 to, oh, it's the double of 8 to 13. Easy. Wait. No, it's the 4 times. Wait a second. We cast this. Yeah, no, we're all good. Hey, Deadly Sins. Thank you very much for tuning in. How's it going? It's also very kind of you to say. Doing some sponsored work for Tainted Grail here. It's a damned good time. Always pleased when someone looks to re-up some of the sponsorship that's happened previously on the channel. Oh, okay. Bounty Hunter is currently using their massive debuff. Gonna add some negatives to our draw. I lose 50% damage next turn if I use the Tainted Force. Well, Tainted... Next turn's probably my execution turn, depending on whether or not this draws the Abomination. That didn't draw the Abomination, so it's not my execution turn next turn. That makes this a lot easier for us, actually. But the question I should ask in the interim is, do I use paralysis? I think I should. On you. You having negative 25 armor until the rest of the combat, especially because you are the healthiest unit on the board and I do a lot of AoE damage, seems useful. Protection sigil out there as well. Yeah, give him the slaps. I really wish I had a cheaper worm. My draw pile has literally just the Blood Abomination in it, so I know that's what Blood Preparation is going to get right now, so I'll take it. Put it down on the field. Probably give it its first promo right now as well. And then I can actually activate the Blood Fae as well. Having Overcharge activated this turn is really good. It decreases the targets that the Abomination has, so the Blood Golem takes less damage. But the big reason is, obviously, I can only use it once per turn, and I have the benefit of, if I overcharge, +1 extra energy for my next turn. Let's promote you. So you've got your multi-attack out. Pop a ritual on you too. Multi-attack all those enemies for us, and then just end the turn and you'll do it again. Most of the things that are going to get us more powerful at this point are all going to happen on our level ups. Like, the space between our level ups is going to be relatively consistent in execution.
You hear someone screaming nearby.
Godless healing! Godless healing!
Intrigued, you approach the source of the sound. It turns out to be a joyful man advertising his merchandise to the nearest trees.
Who said you need an all-mother or a stag father to have a blessing of health? Let's not dwell on them anymore. It's all about potions and elixirs and other trinkets infused with proper...
His monologue goes on. You can see tiny horns growing from his skull. His mind clearly isn't quite right either. Maybe disrespecting the gods wasn't such a great idea after all.
Time at the shop, baby. I think, like, hard pass on all of these. I was never really going to want anything from the Cursed Healer there. As soon as I get a good opportunity to actually spend some money, we're really going to go to the moon. Should probably get a weird candle from this.
It's a mystery why these stones light up and banish the weirdness when people walk by. Many believe Merlin himself invented the runes carved into them. There's also a darker rumor that they were left by the Four-Dwellers to lure humans into their domain, like moths to the flame.
Extinguish the milestone to get a weird candle. Probably gonna do that to the other one as well. Mysterious Witch! Oh! You're gonna remove more cards from my deck, right? Oh, sheesh. I don't know if I have enough cards to remove from my deck from the Mysterious Witch yet. I think she's probably gonna be like my second last fight on this map. Let's go take that strike creature. I should have taken this way earlier. This is gonna be super easy. Lose the milestone. Gain the weird candle. What if your deck was junk? Yeah, no kidding. What if I find that event and get 60 extra cards? Playing this increases the enemy's armor by 50 for 2 turns, the 2 most important turns of the game, so I'm definitely just not going to be doing that. Get the Bloodworm out on the board, and then immediately activate it. And that turn. I draw 3 fewer cards this turn, unfortunately, but... Blood prep to see if I can draw something relevant. Blood bomb's probably relevant. Okay, so we now have access to sacrifice here. That is Blood Fae remaining in the deck. If I use Blood Preparation, I could draw into the Blood Fae, pop it onto the board, use the Blood Mage's ability to get extra damage. Actually, suddenly seems a lot better. Yes. So then we promote you and offer your experience and HP, damage. Then I have one more that I get to do at the end. And if I promote the Blood Abomination again, it will multi-strike. That's lethal. Very little experience out of it, because that was probably the first fight I was supposed to take. All Mother's Altar. Okay. So we'll take this, we'll make our way back to the Treasure Guardian, and then probably pick up the Mysterious after that. On our way back. I'll probably pop the light before I go to the treasure. Just before, frankly. 20 barrier on all enemies, or lose 25% of my current HP next turn. Honestly, I think 25% of my current HP next turn is probably a significantly lesser price to be paying here. Golem took a hell of a lot of damage right there. Ah! Look at that perverted life force! You're not immune to stun, are you? No, you've got a strong aura. Oh boy. Is this like a summoner build? Yeah, it's one of the summoner classes. I may have to use the reduction of everyone's damage by 50% this turn. So the draw pile has the Bloodworm and 2 pillars in it. One of those I want, one of those I don't. Oh, wow. Rough. Hey, Maxwell. Good to see you, bud.